5 advanced Amazon tactics every e-commerce brand needs. Who am I? My name is David Holmes. I'm going to walk you through this today. So here's the problem. You think Amazon is just another sales channel, but it's not. And let's look at the numbers. So there are 200 million Amazon Prime subscribers, 90% of people price check on Amazon, and 60% of people go directly to Amazon when purchasing a product. I honestly think this last number is the most important. 6 out of every 10 people, when they're looking for a piece of furniture, a desk, a mouse, like they're going straight to Amazon to pick that stuff up. They're not browsing through Facebook, they're not browsing through Instagram, they're going straight to Amazon to purchase a product. Now, when you keep that in mind, you need to think about Amazon holistically to drive improvements to your MER and your customer acquisition costs across the entire business. This is particularly important if you sell a lot on Shopify or through other channels. Amazon is not like these other channels. You need to think about how to integrate Amazon into your existing business as a whole. That goes into another topic where I do not think you should have separate P&Ls for each sales channel, but we can get into that for another time. Now, here's what you're going to learn in this presentation. 1, how to use your email list to improve your Amazon presence. 2, how to capture more revenue from abandoned carts using Amazon. And then 3, how to incorporate Amazon into your Facebook ads strategy. You're also going to learn how to approximate the halo effect of Facebook ads on Amazon, and then how to make sure your Amazon ad strategy is actually incremental to your business. So these are all pretty advanced topics. If you're not sure what any of these words mean, you should probably exit now because this video is too advanced for you. But remember, we're going to think about Amazon holistically, and we're focused on driving more contribution margin and net profit across the entire business, not just Amazon. So tactic number 1, use your email list to supplement your Amazon presence. And I already know what you're going to say, David. You're going to say, David, but customers are worth more to me on Shopify. Now, customers may be worth more to you on Shopify, but you can still use your email list on Amazon to both improve your Amazon efforts and improve your revenue per customer across the entire business. So first of all, I'll show you some segmentations in a second, but you will acquire new customers through Amazon, and then revenue as an entire business will go up if you use your email list to supplement your Amazon revenue. And if you're not sure, then you can see where I interviewed the CMO of an 8-figure D2C brand where he explains cannibalization, how he used his email list to help the Amazon launch, and how well he's doing on Amazon now. I'll link that video at the end of this video. But when should you use the email list? Well, 1, during your product launches to drive momentum and get initial reviews, and then 2, to supplement your review score if it falls close to a dangerous level. Now, on Amazon, below a 4.3 average star rating, it'll show as 4 stars. Below a 3.7 star rating, it'll show as 3.5 stars. Now, this really depends on your category. If everybody is ranked 4.5 stars, then you need to be ranked 4.5 stars. If everybody's ranked 4 stars in your category, then you need to show up as 4 stars. So whenever your review rating starts dropping, you can send emails to your list. These customers already love you, and you can get them to leave reviews on Amazon. And I'm about to show you some segmentations I use in a second. So here's some of the email sequences to implement. First of all, for product launches, here's how you want to segment your list. You want to go through VIP customers, repeat buyers, potential customers, and then the entire list. Now, what's extremely important with your email strategy when launching on Amazon is you want to start out with smaller segments and then go to bigger segments over a 14 to 21 day period. And the reason for that is because Amazon likes to see a stair-stepping increase in sales velocity. They don't really want to see a sudden spike and then just like 1 or 2 sales from organic. So you want to go from 1 unit per day to 2 units per day to 10 units a day to 20 to 50 to 100 units per day over the span of like a week. Some of the messaging ideas we just launched on Amazon, now available on Amazon, pretty much anything like that, like purchase on Amazon, get some store credit. You can offer some store credit as a discount. And then your call to action is going to be buy on Amazon, and you're going to use a brand attribution link, which is found in Campaign Manager, Amazon Attribution. That'll give you 10% off of Amazon FBA fees. You also get to make sure you're enrolled in new seller incentives. And I have another video on that called The 5 Mistakes New Sellers Make. Just search my channel. Now, the second sequence is one nobody really talks about, but it's actually very important, especially in competitive niches. So, in this one, this is what you're going to use to get customers to leave reviews on Amazon. We know Amazon reviews are very important. When was the last time on Amazon you bought something that was rated 3.5 stars? Almost never. So here's the segments you're going to implement. One, you're going to email the customers who have left a 5-star review on your site. If they've left a 5-star review on your D2C site, then they're very, very likely to leave a review on Amazon. You can ask them directly to leave a review on Amazon through your email list because Amazon doesn't know that you are doing it through your email list. You can also, so you can see this Klaviyo logic like here, if they've submitted a review at least once in the last 30 days where review rating is greater than 4. You can also email VIP customers with repeat purchases. So if they've purchased 5-6 times from your D2C site, send them to Amazon and get them to leave a review there. And remember, we're thinking about Amazon holistically. So the halo effect of ranking higher on Amazon is going to drive greater Amazon revenue over a long time. So even if they purchase from Amazon once, twice, you can actually incentivize them to come back to your site by saying, hey, if you purchase on Amazon and buy this product, we will give you $50 in store credit, and then have them go back to Shopify. It kind of just depends on the offer, what you really want. But you can buy through Amazon, get a full reimbursement through PayPal, or buy through Amazon and get a $50 in-store credit on Shopify automatically applied to your next order. Now, let's continue talking about the email list because this is pretty important. So, tactic number 2, use Amazon to get more revenue from abandoned carts. So, let's start out with a fact. There are people who will only purchase from Amazon. This is a fact. It's extremely hard to debate. And so if you add an extra email to your abandoned cart sequence specifically for Amazon, I've seen these perform very well. Or you can add it as an option underneath your traditional add to cart. Once again, you're going to use the brand attribution link for 10% off of FBA fees. So you're going to go to your Amazon campaign manager, you're going to go to attribution. So here's an example, Klaviyo abandoned cart flow. This is just the standard abandoned cart flow. It depends on how many emails you send in your abandoned cart, but I would recommend doing it in like one of the later ones. Obviously, you want your customers to purchase through Shopify, but if you've emailed them 3 times and they still haven't purchased through Shopify, consider sending them to Amazon. This is what it would look like. Again, this is a basic like kind of Klaviyo template. It's pretty ugly, but it does work. So you can just have a complete your purchase here, or we're also available through Amazon. Order now at Amazon. Tag this with your brand attribution link. Send them to your Amazon storefront if you have a ton of different products. If you have one hero product, just send them there. But send them to your storefront. Use the brand attribution link. You get 10% off of FBA fees. Now, let's move on to tactic number 3. And just keep in mind the whole theme of this presentation. We're thinking about Amazon holistically. So you're going to incorporate Amazon messaging into your Facebook ads. Now, let's think about this for a second. When you run a lot of Facebook ads, I'm talking $1,000, $10,000, $50,000 a day on Facebook ads, then there's going to be spillover of branded search onto Amazon. And I'll show you that in a second, actually. So what you can do is you can add Amazon messaging to your copy and to the image, but you're still going to send the traffic to Shopify. So you kind of get a double dip here. So there's going to be some people who are going to check Amazon anyway. So if you're not on Amazon, you're losing those sales. But if you are on Amazon, and here's just an example. This is just a very basic static image ad, little infographic here. And you can see here, let me see. Oh, yeah, you can see here, just buy now on Amazon, just a tiny little button right there. So it's fairly simple to implement, and then you can also add it to the text available on Amazon. And what that's going to do is you're going to see a spike in branded search on Amazon. and you're still going to get the benefits of the tracking from Shopify. So I don't really recommend sending a lot of Facebook ads directly to Amazon because there's no pixel on Amazon. But I have seen stuff like this work very well, where even if you have like a short video, you can toss in a little animation near the end that says available on Amazon as well. Now, I said I was going to talk about Facebook ads spillover to Amazon, so let's actually put some numbers to that. Because there's a way to measure the impact of paid media spend on Amazon. This is commonly known as the halo effect. So let's talk about that a little bit. So the best way that I've seen, and this is without using any sort of fancy analytics software, all of this data is available in Amazon and then through Facebook Ad Manager, is you're going to want to track your paid media spend versus your branded searches on Amazon. So this is kind of what it would look like. What I do is I typically track this weekly. As you can see here, this brand is doing roughly $100,000 a week on Amazon. This is a brand we currently work with. And they're spending $200,000 a week on Facebook ads. And this blue line is their branded search volume on Amazon. They typically get between 10 to 15,000 searches per month just because of how much they're spending on Facebook. So obviously the cool thing here is you can see this direct correlation between Facebook spend and then your branded search volume. And you can also see the increase in Amazon revenue as they increase Facebook spend. Now, what this does, and I can put some numbers to this in a second, is it allows you to calculate the impact of the Amazon halo effect using data from first-party sources. So you know how much you're spending on Facebook. Amazon reports directly how many branded searches you gain through your search query performance. So just in this example, paid media spend went up by 27% over the span of 2 weeks. The branded searches on Amazon went up by 40%. So if we do that math, there was approximately like a 1.5x spillover from Facebook to Amazon. Now, what you can do is you can use that to calculate break-even customer acquisition costs and marketing efficiency ratio targets across your entire business. Now, this is something we typically track weekly, and it really depends on how much you're spending on Facebook. But if you're getting any branded search on Amazon at all, this is something you need to be doing. And then this is going to tie in directly to tactic number 5. So really, when you are a D2C brand on Amazon, you need to make sure every sale is incremental. And that is where the 3-tiered ad strategy comes in. I have another video about this. I will link it at the end of the video. But let me just quickly summarize this. You need to create your ad strategy based off of incremental sales. So these are the 3 buckets that pretty much every single term on Amazon ads can be bucketed into. You could have your branded terms, you could have your generic terms, and you're going to have your comparator terms. So ideally, you're spending kind of 10% or less of your ad budget on Amazon on your branded terms. You want 90% of your ad spend prospecting for new customers. And new customers are going to be generic and comparator terms. And if you think about it, advertising on branded terms is typically not going to be incremental. And you can tell this by looking at search query performance. For branded terms, you should have a purchase share greater than 80%, and you can see that in search query performance. I go into more detail about that in this 3-tiered ad strategy video. But you should have incremental return on ad spend targets for each of these different buckets. So here's how I like to think about it. Branded terms are going to be the least incremental. So a sample return on ad spend for those is going to be 5 to 10x. Every dollar you spend on brand should be bringing in 5x. For generic terms, I think they're a little bit more incremental. So let's say you're Simple Modern. Simple Modern is a very famous, or let's say like your Yeti water bottles. So Yeti would be the brand term. Water bottle would be the generic term. Comparator term would be Stanley water bottles. So the sample return on ad spend for generic terms is typically 2.5 to 3.5x. This is very heavily category dependent. And then obviously when you're advertising on comparator terms, these could be the most incremental. These are people who are searching for your direct competitor, and you're directly stealing a sale from them and converting them to your brand customer. So these we typically like to have return on ad spend for around 1.0. We might even go slightly negative on these because we know that we're stealing the sales from the competitor. Now, if there's anything you got from this overall presentation, is you need to think about Amazon holistically across your entire business. And there's a lot of ways that you can use Amazon based on these kind of tactics. So you should be looking at a P&L like on individual sales channel basis, but the overall thing that you're caring about is more contribution margin and more net margin across the entire business. And that's what the tactics in this video are designed to do. So there's one P&L, there's one marketing efficiency ratio, there's one customer acquisition target across the entire business. So use these tactics today and watch your Amazon brand succeed.